Good workout, Cindy. You're going to be in good shape for the intramurals next month.
Yeah, woo, if you don't kill me first. Ah, whoosh, oh.
Okay, I get the hint. You can call it a day. Just be back here tomorrow at the same time, eh?
I'll be here, but can I talk to you a minute about something, Coach?
Sure. What is it?
Coach, I'm not doing so good in my courses this term.
Huh? What? I thought you were an A student. How bad could your grades be?
Pretty bad, Coach. The courses are getting harder. My grades are pretty awful in cost accounting, and I'm failing outright in economics. I'm just not getting the work done that I need to do. I just don't have enough time.
How'd you do in your midterms?
Not so good either. 62% on the economics test, 73% in cost accounting, and 79% in marketing, and that's supposed to be an easy course. I'm not going to graduate with those kinds of scores. I've got to get a lot more studying in before the finals. That's all there is to it.
Oh, so?
So, I'm not sure how much time I can give to football anymore. I was wondering, how would it be if maybe I moved back to the B squad? Kind of in reserve, so to speak.
In reserve? Cindy, you're the best forward we've got.
I don't know, Coach. Marley's good too. She just needs a chance to show her stuff.
Yeah, but she's not you, Cindy, and I, the team, we're counting on you. We've got to take on SFU first off next month, and Marley's hardly played with the A squad at all so far. I just don't know whether there's time to break her in now.
Oh, I can work with her during practice, Coach. She can do it. I know she can, and...
Wait a minute. Don't we have any other option?
What option is that?
Well, how about a tutor? Yeah, how about us finding you a tutor for those courses? Somebody that, could kind of give you what you need to pass your finals.
Aw, Coach, I've got to learn all this stuff myself. There's life after football, There's a lot of competition for jobs out there when I graduate. If I graduate.
I know, Cindy. You're absolutely right. I just don't want to lose you right before the tournament. You've worked so hard to get this far, and so have all your teammates.
Yeah, that's why I feel so bad about this. But I need this time to study. I really do.
I know. I'm just clutching at straws now. But how about this then? I let you work Marley into your position in A squad this week, and then you take the next 2 weeks completely off from practice. Study hard, and when's your first exam?
Economics is first, March 30th.
Okay, you take all the time off you need until then, and if you pass that exam, come back for the first round of the tournament at least, okay? That's the big one. If we can get past SFU then, confidence will carry us along from there, and we'll also have time to reassess your situation. Deal?
Can't make a deal yet, Coach. I just can't. Let me sleep on it, will you? Let me look at my schedule and try to figure this all out. And then I'll get back to you. I promise.
And think about that tutor, too. We'll get you one of those, too, if you think it'll help. I don't want to jeopardize your career any more than you do. And grades come first in my books, too.
Thanks, really. I feel like you're taking real good care of me.
Yeah, well, just take your time. You gotta do what you gotta do. But think it over. You're going to leave a big hole in the offense if you take off.
Thanks. Anyway, I'll be in tomorrow afternoon for more of your torture. Right now, I gotta take a shower and get out of here.
Good. No partying tonight, you hear?
Got you, Coach. Good night.
As a part of our study of the effects of diseases on society, of the social consequences of man's diseases, we should certainly include yellow fever. Now, yellow fever's a deadly disease that's caused by a virus, and it's been the source of many epidemics since at least the 18th century in Africa, Europe, and the Americas. In fact, it still kills more than 30,000 people a year worldwide, and there's still no cure for the disease. However, there is a vaccine to immunize us against it. The road to the discovery of that vaccine was a rocky one, I think. It's called yellow fever because one of its symptoms is jaundice, a yellowish color that the skin takes on because of liver damage. It's transmitted by mosquitoes, either from man to man, this is called the urban cycle, or from monkey to man, this is called the sylvatic or jungle cycle. The disease probably originated in West Africa, and it was carried from there to the West Indies and the New World in the 18th century with the ships of the slave trade. The first big outbreak of yellow fever happened in Cuba in 1762 and 1763, and it killed thousands of American and British colonial troops there. After that, between then and 1900, it killed about 10% of Cuba's population. The next big epidemic hit in the heart of the United States, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1793. It killed 5,000 people there, while 20,000 more fled the city in panic. These included President George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton, Dolly Madison, and most of the federal government officials, because you might remember that Philadelphia was the capital of the United States then. Washington, D.C. was still under construction, and it would not be a working seat of government until 1800. About 20 years after the Philadelphia epidemic, another significant yellow fever epidemic hit Haiti. In 1802, Napoleon Bonaparte had sent an expedition of 40,000 soldiers there with the intention of using the island as a base for invading the United States by way of New Orleans. New Orleans was, at that time, still in the hands of France, but Napoleon's army, including its commander, who was Napoleon's brother-in-law, was completely decimated by the fever, and his invasion plans were abandoned. Later in the same century, in the 1880s, France was again foiled and history was again changed by yellow fever. The French effort to build the Panama Canal ended in failure as a result of the heavy toll on the workers and technicians from both yellow fever and malaria. These epidemics continued to occur over and over because no one had been able to figure out how the disease was transmitted, how it was carried from person to person. In Philadelphia, Benjamin Rush, who was a signer of the Declaration of Independence and also the chief medical officer for the new government, Dr. Rush relied so heavily on bloodletting as a treatment that he probably killed more people than he cured. The most widespread theory was that yellow fever spread through contaminated water or by direct physical contact with infected people, and some people actually abandoned family members in their panic. The idea that mosquitoes were the disease vector, the method of transmission, had been proposed in 1881 by a Cuban scientist named Carlos Finley, but he hadn't been able to prove this to the satisfaction of other scientists. It wasn't until 20 years later, in 1900, that Carlos Finley's idea was finally proved. The United States Army had occupied Cuba after the Spanish-American War of 1898, and since Cuba was still considered to be the breeding ground for yellow fever in the New World, the U.S. government commissioned a U.S. Army surgeon, Dr. Walter Reed, to solve the problem before its occupation forces also succumbed to this disease. And Dr. Reed's team did soon prove that the mosquitoes were the culprits at their research center just outside Havana. As a result, yellow fever was quickly eliminated from Cuba, and the U.S. Public Health Service started a mosquito control program that included fumigation, eliminating or treating standing pools and bodies of water, and so forth. In addition, the Panama Canal was completed by the Americans, who then controlled the canal's operation for the next 99 years. And Walter Reed? Well, Walter Reed's name should be familiar to many of you. The Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Washington, D.C., is the well-known hospital where the U.S. President, U.S. Congressmen, and U.S. military personnel receive medical treatment.
Oh, hi, Marlon. I didn't hear you come in.
Showers too loud? Boy, you sure take long ones. Doesn't your mother complain?
Every time. She says I double the water bill.
I can believe it.
but a shower doesn't use nearly as much water as taking a bath does. Of course, you wouldn't know. You don't use either one.
Huh. You'd know if I didn't. You wouldn't be able to breathe in here right now. What's the occasion?
It's rush week, my man. I've got a fraternity to check out tonight. Omega Theta.
Omega Theta? Really? They rushed you? That's a feather in your cap. Everybody says they're really cool.
Yeah, they are. But they've also got a good reputation for academics, too. They've got the highest GPA on fraternity row.
That means you're going to have to keep up your average, too.
Yeah, but I figure that'll be easier to do with a little help from some Omega Theta friends.
You've got friends there?
I will if I join. They've got a pretty strict study regimen. Everyone gets assigned a tutor, an upper-class brother, kind of an academic buddy system. They say it works good.
Sounds good if you need that.
And I do. I'm not a self-starter at all. Left to myself, I tend to fiddle around and get nothing done.
Me too, I guess. If I go to the library or the coffee shop to study, I do better. But if I sit around here, I just dawdle. I listen to music or pick at the guitar or, anything to avoid getting down to my assignments.
That's why I think Omega Theta is a good idea.
But what about the really important stuff?
Huh? What's that?
Their parties. They don't have much of a rep as a party house.
No, they don't.
Well, isn't that the main reason to join a fraternity? To party and meet girls?
For some guys, I guess so, yes. I like to party too, but not every weekend like the Delta Thous do. Now, that's a real animal house. Talk about reputation.
Yeah, probably a little much for me too. When I think about it, we got to stay a bit serious. After all, we got to find jobs when we leave here.
Anyway, Omega Theta does throw a good party or two along the way, just before Christmas and Easter break, and at Halloween, of course.
Oh boy, I hope you'll invite me to that one. I love Halloween parties.
Sure, if I can, but I haven't been invited to join yet.
Oh yeah? I forgot. Well, I want to hear how it goes tonight.
You bet. Reception's at 6:30, dinner's at 7. There'll be some talking and a tour of the house and some one-on-one. No alcohol, I think. So I should be back here by 9:30 or 10 at the latest. Then I'll spill all.
Hey, I just thought of something. If you join Omega Theta and move into their house, what am I going to do for a roommate?
No, you're stuck with me for a while yet in any case. They don't have freshman residents, just upperclassmen. And not a lot of those. It's not a big house.
How many are staying there anyway?
I don't know, about a dozen or so, I think. I think they've got 5 or 6 bedrooms. Everybody else in the dorms are off campus. But they've got a big hall that'll hold 30 or 40 brothers for meetings and cram session and things.
Huh. Well, I don't want to hold you up. It's almost 6 o'clock now.
What? Yipes. I gotta get dressed and get out of here.
I'll leave you to it. I'm going over to the campus club and see if there's a good movie on.
Don't you have anything better to do?
Nah, no one's rushing me tonight. Maybe it's the garlic I ate at lunch.
Couldn't be your personality, could it?
Thanks. You're my pal, too. Lock the door when you leave, will you?
Yep. See you about 10.
If the movie's over, if there is one. Otherwise, I'll just be hanging out back here.
Okay, see you later.
See you. Have fun.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry, but could I bother you for just a minute? I think I left a book in this carrel last night. Could you just take a look in the shelf for me?
Sure. What's the title?
Fundamentals of Bioengineering, or something like that. I forget the exact title. That's why I need it. It's sort of a green paperback.
Looks like a couple of other folks have left their books in here too. Why don't they put them back where they got them when they're through anyway?
Probably just forgot, like me. It's easy to forget a book in there after you've been sitting here going through books for 3 or 4 hours at night.
Yeah, I guess. I've done that too. How about, engineering basics? Is this it? It's not green though. It's kind of, turquoise.
That's kind of eerie, isn't it? That's really pretty close. No, not mine. Nothing else there?
Nope. Just a couple of works on Anglo-Saxon grammar. Want those?
I don't think so. I probably need one on English grammar, though. My paper on GM is not organized very well.
GM? General Motors?
No. Gene modification. It's due next Tuesday, and I'm barely half finished. and I need that book to check the pagination. I'm including some quotes out of it.
Well, sorry I can't help. It's just not here. Did you check the stacks?
Yeah, 'cause I thought at first I'd put it back, but it's not where it's supposed to be at least.
Maybe somebody else has got it then. Somebody from your class, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. We've all got papers due.
Did you check at the desk? They can tell you if it's been checked out.
No, it can't be checked out. Our prof put it on reserve until the end of the term. Too many people might need to use it.
And there's only one copy? That's pretty rough.
Yup, I think so. Or, no, actually, I have no idea. I just presumed there was. I'll go check the catalog.
Yeah, there might be another one in the science reading room or the medical library. You know the author?
Jamison or, Jamiston. Why?
Because I can search it for you right now. Google Scholar.
Huh?
Yeah, haven't you heard? University Libraries has linked up with Google's search of library holdings all over the world.
Wow.
Just a sec. Jamison. And the title's something about bioengineering. So, keyword bioengineering and Viola. Jamison. HJ. Fundamental Concepts of Bioengineering. Is that it?
Oh, yes. Great.
And Lisi, Tennyson University. Yes, here we are. Main Library and Medical Research Library. They've got a copy there too, it says.
That is really great. Thanks so much for your help. I'm sorry I took up so much of your time. I really appreciate this.
My pleasure. It's my major.
Huh?
Library science. You just gave me a little practicum.
Ha, well, glad to help then. I've got to go. The medical library closes for the weekend Saturday afternoon.
Better run then.
Thanks again. Bye.
Good luck.